Hey there guys, what's up? It's Truth Survives 411 checking in with you again, and wanted to briefly discuss in this video why do you think it is that many current Jehovah's Witnesses, or those that perhaps are in the process of considering fading or leaving the organization in some form, don't really want to face some of the things that are coming through the media as well as within the organization itself that tends to shed a negative light on it. I'm sure you have your takes on that, and they may be similar to one of the things that I was thinking about. And it's this idea of, don't tell me any bad news, no bad news. And I think for many, the issue is simply that they don't want to face the truth about the truth, or what's going on in the organization, or the scrutiny that it's facing from external sources, because it immediately places a mirror up to their face, up to or on their hearts, and also puts some pressure on the mind, if you will, that many JWs are frankly likely not equipped to handle. There is a certain amount, and perhaps you agree or perhaps you don't, but my sense is that there is a certain amount of disorientation or illusionment, if that's a word, that comes with waking up to the reality of Jehovah's Witnesses and the organization as a whole. Coming to grips with the fact that it's a man-made religion run and dominated by men for the purposes of control, essentially a publishing company disguised as a religion that has no question some religious elements to it, and some of those many people may consider to be of good spiritual value. That's certainly up for debate. But to come to grips with the fact that it's something less than a theocracy, something less than God ordained, I think is what many would consider to be almost too tall an order for many of Jehovah's Witnesses, because they haven't allowed themselves to be exposed to critical thinking, to analyzing information from the standpoint of something outside of what the organization itself provides, thought processes that they don't necessarily use unless it's something to benefit their relationship with the organization, or what they believe to be their relationship with God. So I think it's one of those things where it's just too uncomfortable to essentially wrestle with what would be called for if you actually have come to realize that what you're a part of is not what you thought. I would just recommend, as a side note here briefly, that if you have not read, whether ex-JW or current JW, thinking JW, if you have not read the latest edition of Stephen Hassans' Combating Cult Mind Control, that is indeed a very indispensable way, I think, for those trying to wake up to come to grips with what I'm talking about in terms of what this means. When a person comes to the realization that essentially they have been deceived on a massive level, that is very much a blow to many individuals' ego. It is also a blow to their self-worth, perhaps, for a time. And that's all understandable. That's not a failing on the part of the individual. And this kind of just goes back to what I've said in a previous video. But the point is that it's a situation that many individuals don't want to look in that mirror. So it's like walking past the mirror every day, not knowing what your face has got going. not knowing if you had something stuck in your teeth or, you know, if you got stuff in your eyes or what. You'd rather just not know. And frankly, I think that's what it is, that many Jehovah's Witnesses today are walking around keenly aware that something is awry and something is wrong, but they are not willing to face the deep well that exists if they really look down, because it's going to call for some action or response on their part that they're not willing to give. Now, of course, you could make the case that some are making a strategic move, as I've actually heard from current witnesses, some, that basically they're not going to take that step, if you will, of pulling the trigger because of considerations outside of the status of the organization as a whole. So that certainly is one consideration. But for many, my sense is that they're just really not ready, equipped to really deal with what it's going to call for if they actually were to face what the organization is about. I empathize. I really empathize with people in that situation because all of us, of course, have paid a price in the XJW community and many the ultimate price. But it's a terrible position to be in, where you feel like even though you know something is terribly, terribly wrong, you're willing to deny a significant portion of your humanity in terms of living your life as it's real, if you will, as opposed to walking around in a lie. And yet you have the truth, quote unquote. Very, very terrible, difficult position to be in. But I would just offer that that's really why many are not facing the truth about what they're involved in at this point, with everything around them that's saying something is really untowards. We have to just really continue to be there and ready to support these folks in the event if and when they wake up and they're in need of some support, some help, some encouragement, because I fear that as many individuals continue this process of waking up, that it's going to lead to essentially some form of social crisis that's going to have to be dealt with in terms of helping these people reintegrate into society and the reality that they've neglected for so long. So we'd love to hear your thoughts and your feedback on this issue, but that's my take on why many just do not want to face the truth, if you will, about the organization. Tell me what you think. Thanks, guys.